Hello there, I'm Muriel.
And I'm Brian. Welcome to the channel.
It was before we met. I was flying across the ocean on my concert tours, and Brian was sailing across it on his Grampian 30 sailboat. So now we're inviting you to join us.
Yeah, come along as we go to some interesting places and work up Muriel's sailing skills to a point where she might consider a crossing.
Maybe, and maybe work up Brian's musician skills, so maybe he'll join me on stage, or at least hanging out backstage with some of my cool musician friends.
Oh, and she's got some friends. So grab a cup of coffee, grab your significant other, and join us for some great moments.
All right, we are about to embark on a real adventure, a sailing adventure. Now, this is the first time for me. I mean, I've never been on a long sailing trip before. Brian has many times.
Ah, the tender Nashville guitar player goes to sea.
That's right, we'll be going to central Maine. But, you know, it's destination voyage. You know, the destination is what happens along the way. So show us on the map, Brian.
Okay, well, here's the map. If this is Long Island, and this is New York, we're starting from Oak Beach about here, and then we're going to sail along the south coast of Long Island, out past the Twin Forks and over to Block Island. We don't need a map for this part because I know it like the back of my hand. There's Block Island, and we'll then cut across to Cuttyhunk, the first of the Elizabeth Islands, and see a few other sites in the Elizabeth Islands like Kettle Cove, and then we'll head up to the Cape Cod Canal and then cut across to Provincetown, a very colorful, interesting town that is. And it's also a great spot to wait for a weather window before making the 110-mile crossing over to Monhegan, which is here. And once you're at Monhegan, you've got the entire Penobscot Bay at your disposal, right at your doorstep. The center of Penobscot Bay is dominated by North Haven and Vinyl Haven Islands, which are just bristling with islands and coves and channels and just fantastic places to anchor, all of them as beautiful as the next. You could spend a lot of days in here and never see the same place twice.
We hope the last of our things we lead. No, see. Okay, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hayes. Oh, I'm sorry, Brian.
Our first collision.
And I had meant to warn you of that, but the camera's the other direction. I was trying to let them not see it.
Goodbye, beach. I'll see you in a month or so. And now for the best moment in sailing.
Yes, the first time this trip, turn the engine off and listen to just the sound of the waves.
It's the best non-sound in sailing. A bunker pod. Oh, and a spray. That was a gamefish coming up from underneath.
Oh, Captain Brian, got a little rain the first day.
Day is not turning out how I pictured it. Wait. Although we are making good time.
Yeah.
We've got the asymmetrical spinnaker flying. Green monster, as we call it. And we're doing all right. You know, most people take the cap off when they drink a beer.
Well, it's the coldest thing I could find in the ice chest, and I just smacked my mouth. So people are going to think we got into a fight. I was trying to get the ladder back up. And
She had a little foot drag in the water and pulled the ladder back up, and the boat lurched and the ladder smacked her in the mouth.
yeah, there's one lurch there. The very first thing I try to do on the boat, I get a fat lip from it.
It wasn't me. Well, our wind really has run away.
Well, it's motor sailing.
Captain Muriel is driving. Where's Andy is following faithfully. Well, there's a lot of history with Where's Andy being called Where's Andy. Andy is my neighbor. He and I have done a lot of sailing. But Andy's always late. He's on Andy time. So I said, if you're late tonight, I'm naming the dinghy Where's Andy. He was late.
Well, let's see. Motor all night or have a nice evening anchored at Shinnecock Inlet. Yeah, I'll take anchor for the night.
Well, our first day at sea, and we are safely anchored at Shinnecock Inlet.
Well, it would have been nice to get all the way to Block, but I guess you take what the weather gives you. And I see our neighbor had the same idea coming in here.
But we saw some beautiful dolphins.
Yes.
Yes, they were just 2 waves away, 2 of those big waves away from the boat. And I think that there's a rumor in the dolphin world that humans are an intelligent species. Maybe they came to check us out.
I wonder what they decided.
I don't know. But
And there was a great blue heron, oddly, a couple of miles out offshore that circled the boat slowly and looked as though it wanted to land and have a rest. And it circled a few times, but there was just too much going on, so it took off.
I should have played my song Great Blue Heron. So then they would have realized it was welcome.
So tomorrow we set off for Block Island around Montauk Point, and yeah, that's tomorrow. So fingers crossed on the wind. I see the flag is flapping, so that's a good sign.
And now it's time for a nice dinner. We'll cook something on the grill.
Dinner.
We're cutting up the tomatoes now for bruschetta, and thanks to this cool light that Brad and Allie from True Fire gave us. Boy, we have used that a lot to facilitate making bruschetta today.
Gosling's Black Seal Rum and ginger beer. Dark and stormy, that's right.
Dark and stormy for you. Red and simple for me. Yes.
I definitely.
So, that's the...
Army teachers.
Well, the early morning gives us these beautiful sparkles on the water as we're heading out towards Montauk Point, and then we'll do the crossing over to Block Island. Seconds on eggs.
Thank you, love. You are such a love. I love seeing that plate of food come out of the companionway like that.
I guess that's why they call it a companionway.
I never thought of that.
That's typical for a first mate. So,
Very good, first mate. Thank you.
you're welcome, Captain.
Well, I didn't notice until we got pretty far away, but there was somebody perched on the roof above the windows. I'd like to think it was the captain and he had it on auto.
Okay, here we are at Block Island. Through this little entrance, here's the Great Salt Pond. Kind of a cool community atmosphere here. I always feel that. Almost like you're stepping back in time.
Boy, Block Island looks busy today. I've always liked this old Navy tug that seems to be converted to a private yacht. And it's always here every time I come. It must be on a permanent mooring or something.
Bruschetta and wine for your long voyage and our successful arrival to Block Island. Welcome to Block Island.
Thank you. Wow, what a treat.
He wants to know what you have.
Cocktails, stuffed clams, stuffed breads here, pizza slices, cookies, brownies, magic bars, and also eclairs and cannolis in the cooler too.
And cannolis.
Cannoli?
Oh, how are your cannolis?
Really good.
Okay. Well, I took the harbor launch to town and I got back just in time for the air horn orchestra. And that's when the sun just touches the horizon and all the boaters have a great time with this. It's a way to say time to lift your glass and time to celebrate, as you'll hear in a minute. Oh, Brian, what are you making?
Thai coconut curry chicken.
I'm going to play Night Lights. It's that kind of night.
There's some beautiful lights out there.
We left Block Island in some fog and motored north to round the top of the island. The fog made things look atmospheric and nice, but also gave us a weak little fog bow, kind of like a small, all-white rainbow. We also saw a small group of seals on the beach by the North Lighthouse, and this seemed a bit unusual to me given that it was early August. Well, we turned the corner north of Block and made our big right turn to the east, destination Cuttyhunk. And in typical August fashion, the wind took its sweet time waking up, but finally filled in and was just lovely for the rest of the day.
Where are you going? Are you abandoning ship? Am I that bad of a captain? What?
For a little cool down, and we are trailing a line here, just in case.
That's all right.
Look, I'm not going to let go of the ladder. So.
There you go. Hey, we seem to be going faster. What are you doing back there?
I'm kicking.
Oh, keep kicking.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
It's all right.
You might get there in time.
I'll help. I'm the back motor.
Excellent. Good job.
Here they come.
Well, we have a whole school of dolphins coming up here. We've been watching them for a long time, and just really been enjoying beautiful dancing here in the water.
Watching dolphins move through the water like this is so captivating, so hypnotic, so beautiful. And how they move so quickly while appearing to hardly exert themselves is just amazing to me. They've got to be my totem. They hung around for quite a while, but eventually went their own way, as they always do. We were happy to arrive at Cuttyhunk and doubly happy to arrive just in time to race ashore and get some ice before the shops closed. But there was so much daylight left. It was such a nice day. I really wanted to see Kettle Cove again, and I wanted Muriel to see Kettle Cove, so I talked her into pushing on down the road a few more miles.
Oh, this looks like a peaceful place to anchor.
Yeah, boy. So we had a really great day of sailing today, and when you add in those dolphins, it was just special. We ended it here at Kettle Cove, this beautiful cove, had a great dinner aboard and a lovely night. I'm glad things are going really well so far because this is a long trip for Muriel, her first long one, and I don't want to ruin her on sailing so quickly. I want to pile on as many nice days as possible. I know that down the road something's bound to happen, a storm or what have you, and I'd like to have her experience be as nice of one as possible.